What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, as you can see, we're not doing iRacing today. However, we're doing what I would consider the most popular sim racing title on PC right now, which is Assetto Corsa. And we've got several mods that I'd like to showcase today. So, Assetto Corsa is actually coming up on its 10th anniversary today, and one of the big selling points of Assetto Corsa is its huge list of modded cars and tracks. And the new Assetto Corsa Evolution will be coming out next month. And I figured I'd display my favorite mods that I could probably play forever if I needed to. And this is it, Vintage Trans Am. It's my favorite Assetto Corsa mod, along with a couple of tracks today that I'd like to showcase too. So, Vintage Trans Am is something that's not on iRacing. It's something that I would love to see one day, is iRacing getting more into like the vintage style of racing, but they haven't really gone too deeply into that, I'd say, over the years. But for now, this suffices just fine, and it's really fun. I mean, there really is nothing else like it in sim racing right now. I'm going to put links down in the description to both the car set mod and the track mods. And we will be racing the AI today. So this is not an online race, but I hope you'll enjoy it either way. This is a really fun set of cars. And today I'm going to be driving the Dodge Challenger, originally driven by Sam Posey and built by Autodynamics. But this car set has a full set of Trans Am cars. Today we're going to be doing the 1970 season cars. So alongside the Challenger we have the Plymouth Cuda, the Camaro Z28, the Firebird Trans Am, the Ford Mustang Boss 302, and an AMC Javelin is also in this car set. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, we're jumping right into qualifying. This is Bridgehampton. It's the first track we're going to be showcasing today. It was on the real Trans Am schedule back in 1970. And it's what I would have considered my home track on Eastern Long Island. Very fast, very scary road course, with that fast sweeper downhill through turns 1 and 2. Then a hard brake zone for turn 3, much slower and flatter. Straight, and then a hard brake zone once again for turn 4 as we head through its trademark section, Echo Valley. Just listen. Yeah, that's why it's called Echo Valley. Then a fast uphill left-hander, and a couple more fast left-handers before the next brake zone. Down to second gear, over the crest, and an in-out, in kind of deal, but we got traffic right in front of us messing up our qualifying lap. We were on a good flyer lap before that. Gonna have to try one more time. Final couple of corners. And then back down the long back straightaway. This is a really well done track mod by a pretty prolific modder by the name of Little Ski. He does a lot of mods for these sims. He's very well known in the sim modding community. He also does stuff with Microsoft Flight Simulator too, I believe, as far as those mods go. Well, wow, he did an excellent job on this track. He definitely captured not just the driving aspect of this track and the layout, which as far as I can verify is really well done, but just the feel of the track around there. I've been to Eastern Long Island, out of the Hamptons, a bunch in my life, but I can definitely say he got the look right, if nothing else. But Bridgehampton was a very difficult track, a very run-down looking track by the end of it. By the time it got demolished in 1997 for a golf club, I can say that it definitely looked like this, with the very worn out and broken up pavement, and sand and dust just flying all over the place from the sand dunes. This track was basically built in a big sand dune. We are on provisional pole. We'll see if that lasts. As we finish up our qualifying lap here, let's see what we got. Well, unfortunately, we could only get P4 out of that, but we're just going to jump right into the race. Assetto Corsa as only standing starts. So here we go. Don't dump the clutch and get going. Well, we didn't dump the clutch. Unfortunately, I spun the tires a bit. But here we go down the fast right-hander after the bridge. Through turn 2. Don't drive off in the sand. Get it stopped nice and early for turn 3. Then a bit of a straightaway to stretch our legs. Lifting early, anticipating the big braking from traffic. But even then, we're getting stopped by this Camaro in front of us somewhat. Still had to brake way harder than I expected. Out through Echo Valley. A lot of fast left-handers coming off. Let's get alongside this Camaro. Try and get the spot. And we will clear him. But not without running him off the track. And we're even able to get alongside this Mustang. And he kind of just gave it up fairly easily. Through the final corner, back onto the front stretch. So, a few fun facts about the Challenger that we're driving. As I already said, it was driven by Sam Posey. The Challenger was only run in 1970. After that, they ran the CUDA, I believe, for another year, which was developed by Dan Gurney's AAR team, All-American Racing. But the Challenger was built by Autodynamics. It was based off the 340 6-pack motor that they ran. Now, Trans Am had a rule that you had to run a 5.0 liter motor. You couldn't technically get more than 302 cubic inches of displacement out of these engines. And Chrysler did not offer a small block engine with a 4-barrel carburetor that was small enough to work in Trans Am. So they took the 6-pack motor and they ran it as what you would call a de-stroked motor, which basically is a smaller crankshaft for less throw. And by doing that, they were able to get the displacement down to about 302 cubic inches. And the CUDA that the AAR team did this as well. Same motor. They didn't run the Mopar 318 because that only had a 2-barrel carburetor, even though that was perhaps an option, but they would have had to stuck a 4-barrel carburetor on the street cars. All of the cars in Trans Am were homologation cars. These are theoretically cars that you could take out on the street if you needed to. All they added was a roll cage, really. You can see how hard this car is to drive around this place. But you can really throw it around as I go off track, putting 2 tires in the sand there. Doing it again. Track conditions are dusty, about 70 degrees. Partly cloudy, as you can see. The winner of this race in real life was Mark Donahue. He was driving an AMC for Roger Penske. Down to the bridge. Imagine how scary this would be in real life. Driving through that fast downhill right-hander and what passed for safety in 1970s cars. Well, those guys did it for real. That must have been quite the sight to see. Through Echo Valley again. That's the best part of this track. And that broken up pavement on the edges of the track, that's like Bridgehampton's specialty. Especially later on in its time. This surface was so worn out. There was no grip in it, from what people who drove the track have told me. As you see, I put my right rear in the sand, trying to get a little more rotation out of this Challenger. That was also something that somebody who drove this track told me. And this place, it was never clean. It got dusty very frequently. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. It's a golf course. Because of course it is. It's out in the Hamptons. A lot of NIMBYs and rich people out there. But if you go to where the track is, you can still find the bridge. The bridge on the front stretch is still there. You can still go there and visit it. So, Bridgehampton was known a lot for sports cars, especially Can-Am. But NASCAR is its predecessor to the Cup Series, called the Grand National Series. They ran 4 races there. Richard Petty won there, David Pearson won a race there. And NASCAR Classics did upload a video from the 1963 race, I guess, of what they would call their telecast. It's only a few minutes as we put our right rear on the sand once again. Just getting that car to rotate. But this car is so much fun to drive. Another fun fact about the Challenger that I forgot to mention, compared to the other cars in this class, one of the reasons I drove this car specifically was because it has a slightly longer wheelbase than the other cars. The Challenger has a 110-inch wheelbase, while all the other cars in this field have a 108-inch wheelbase, and I feel like that gives it a little more stability, especially in some of the faster corners, and it's a little easier to drive than some of the other cars because of that. But as you can see by the inputs, I am heel toe clutch shifting. See on the downshifts right there, I am using the clutch on both upshifts and downshifts. We've caught this other Challenger in front of us. We're going to try to make a move on him. And that other Challenger is going to give room. Really on the limit of grip coming out of these corners, but we're making it work. And we're going to get it the position for the final corner. But we're not going to be able to take advantage of it. Maybe, yes we will. Side by side. Down the back stretch. Who's going to give getting into turn 1? It's going to be the other Challenger. I don't think I would have had the confidence to pull that off in real life. Waiting way late on the downshifts here. Relying a lot on the engine braking with these cars. And you can see just how bouncy the front ends of these cars are. That's what I love about this era of cars. You can really feel the car bouncing around, and you get a really great sense of the weight transfer and what you need to do to actually make that car go through the corner as fast as possible just by feel. Because it's super obvious. And you can be very aggressive with these cars as well. But it's an 8-lap race. We're coming to the white flag. The leader is checked out in this race, so we're just going to take our P2 and enjoy the last lap. Oh, a little late on the brakes. Keep it on the track. Well, we didn't keep it on the track there, but we're far enough ahead of P3. The Camaro has now moved into P3. So it looks like something else is going on behind us that I didn't notice, but thankfully we got more than enough time in front of those guys that I'm not going to lose P2 at the very least. Just a couple more corners to go. You can see just how hard it is to control this car. When the front end gets light like that. But there we go, P2. At Bridgehampton. Unfortunately, we didn't really have a shot at the win. But it was a good effort. So here's your final standings. The Mustang Boss 302 taking the win. We come home in second, 13 seconds behind. We did not get the fastest lap. That went to a Mustang. We were about 8/10 off the pace, but that's alright. You see the rest of the results. Let's go on to the next race. Alright guys, our second race of the day is going to be at Riverside International Raceway. We're going all the way to the West Coast for our second race. And I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with Riverside. It was a pretty famous track back in its day. It's hosted F1, NASCAR, SCCA, Can-Am. It was the spiritual home of IROC. A fantastic track that we never really should have lost. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of the mod creator for this specific track mod, but whoever it was did a really fantastic job. They definitely did a really good job at capturing all the little quirks and little things that made this track so awesome to drive and watch racing at. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, here we go with our first of 2 qualifying laps that we'll get as we head onto the front stretch. Over the hill for turn 1, nice and easy on the steering. Getting it back to the left for turn 2. And entering the S's. This section is so much fun in these cars. You can toss them around and they'll just take it. Granted, it's a lot of work to get these cars through the S's, but it's so much fun. Up through turn 6. NASCAR, like at Sonoma nowadays, had a section that cut right through all this infield section. Hard braking for turn 7. Again, not too different from Sonoma, actually, where you go up a little hill after a hard braking zone and then turn down into a left-hander. Hard on the brakes, but with late downshifts with a lot of engine braking for turn 8. If you downshift too early there, the car just gets unloaded. then down the long back straightaway. We're gonna get up to over 155 miles an hour here. Big compression in the middle of the back stretch. Lift slightly for the kink, and then brake hard at the 3 marker. And into turn 9. Let's see what we can do. Double apex, kind of like, or the carousel at Road America. .2 .5. Let's see if we can go for a sub 2-minute lap. With the tires and brakes warmed up, I think it's possible. Almost full throttle, not quite. We just need that little bit of maneuverability through the S's, but... I'd say we got through there mostly pretty well, except for turn 6. We went a little too wide there. Would have liked to stayed on the newer pavement, but that didn't work out. But that's not really that bad, all things considered. Nice and easy through 7. Up through the gears, lift early and gradually, and then totally get off the throttle and brake for turn 8. Spinning the tires just a little bit on exit there, but that's not that bad. It is very easy to spin the rear tires on all of these cars. And that compression in the middle of the backstretch, it really doesn't throw the cars around that much. It's really not really a factor. A little bit of oversteer. Kind of overcooked it on the braking there in turn 9. But we made it through. Let's see what kind of time we got. 1:59.2, and that is going to put us on the pole for this race. Alright, P1, don't choke, don't dump the clutch on the start. Let's see what we can do. Well, we didn't dump the clutch. Will we get away with the lead? No, we won't. Parnoy Jones, the winner of this race in real life, he's got the lead. I don't know, I think that outside line is cleaner. That is on the racing groove where he started. But he's left the door open in turn number 6. Can we get the lead back? Not if you can't put the power down, side by side, down to turn 7, and we've cleared him for the moment. But he just goes full send into turn number 7. I don't know where he found that horsepower from. And that little bit right in the braking zone, really. Oh, he checks up a ton for turn 8, though, and we get right back to his back bumper. Down the back stretch for the first time. Gotta get that engine nice and warm. Down the compression. Hard compression. But again, it doesn't really send the car way off track like you might think it would. The Challenger handles it nice and easily. Putting the right front off in the dirt just for a split second. But all's good. Double apex to turn 9. And it spits us out right next to that wall. Gotta be brave and get as close to that wall as you can. It's so much fun driving these cars because you can just slide them around, toss them around, and they can take it. They don't do it fast, but they do it well, and it's fun to drive. 15's left the door open again in turn 6. Can we take advantage? No. He's spinning the tires, we're spinning the tires. This is what historic racing's all about. You just gotta manhandle these cars. They can only take so much before they just say no, and at that point you have to either back off or crash, pretty much. Long braking zone. Oh, big checkup by the 15. We get alongside him. Turn 8. Can we get the straighter run down the back stretch? So far, so good. Oh, but that Boss 302 motor. I think he's got a little more power. Oh, trying to keep up with him. Getting alongside him in turn 9, but just not enough grip to actually make it stick and stay alongside him. But we got the run through turn 1. Do we have anywhere to go with it? You see just how much yaw you gotta put into these cars to get them through the S sections, and how early you have to do it as well, and we get the lead. Almost snap oversteer, but we handle it just fine. Now we got the two Mustangs side by side. Parnelli Jones did indeed win this race in real life. It was the season finale for Trans Am that year. The Mustangs, how the Boss 302 came to be, actually, was that they basically just stuck heads from the then being newly developed 351 Cleveland motor onto their existing small block. And you could see just how good those heads were, because I'm getting absolutely pulled by these Mustangs down the straightaways. The Chrysler engines, they make good low-end torque, but it seems like the Boss 302s with the 351 Cleveland heads, they make really good torque on the top end, it seems like. And I thought we were going to keep the lead there, but not yet. Oh, we barely made it stick in turn 1, but we're going to keep it this time. We're going to get the lead. And hold it for more than a couple of corners, hopefully. Just absolutely using up all the track here. All the curbing to the best of our abilities. Hard braking for turn 7 once again. Late on the last downshift. Just trying to get as much engine braking effect as possible there. But the thing with driving these cars is you gotta think about every little undulation and how the car goes over every little bump and crevice as you're driving over it. That's what I really enjoy about driving these historic cars, is just how much you have to, like, think your way through the race while you're driving the car to get the most speed out of it. Because of how imperfect they really are. That and the fact that they can take just so much abuse. You see how I'm driving the car, throwing it in, tossing it around like it won't handle, because it doesn't, and that's kind of what makes this racing fun. And you see just how much body roll there is in these cars, and it's just wild that they actually raced cars like this. At a professional level, anyway. But this is what they had back then. This was the technology that they had, and this is what people love about these cars. They're just raw. It's as raw of a driving experience as you can get. I have driven the Mustang quite a bit as well, and I can confirm that that car is definitely very squirrely in some of the faster corners, like turn 9, and through the S's as well. The Challenger, it's definitely more planted, as you see me blocking the Mustang behind us. He's giving us a run for our money. He's looking everywhere, trying to get around us. 3 laps to go. Back under sub 2-minute lap times. And we got a lapped Camaro in the way. What are we going to do about this? He's very slow. Where are we going to go? We're going to get around him before the big braking zone with no problems. Unfortunately for us, the Mustangs are not going to get around him very well. That Camaro blocked both of those Mustangs a ton, and we're going to get a big gap over both of them, which should take us to an easy win. Even so, you can see just how little grip this thing has coming out of the really slow corners. But I think that extra 2 inches of wheelbase is definitely helping us in the faster corners, of which Riverside has a good mix of both slower and faster corners, as you can see. Down the back stretch, hit the compression, front end bounces a little bit, but it holds nice and steady. Hit the throttle to make it rotate. Coming out of turn 9, get as close to the wall as you can. 2 laps to go. Nice and slow on the steering. Over turn 1. But get it done early to stay in the throttle. And man, you just gotta throw it around through the corners and the S's. Just make that thing roll onto the tires as hard as it possibly can. A little wide entering turn 6, but we've got such a big lead at this point, it doesn't even really matter. Try to steer before the crest here. Late downshifts, because that's the only way to keep it stable through that section. And thankfully we didn't have to do any Dale Earnhardt style moves cutting through the course, and the S's like that. No, we were able to keep it on the track through all of that. But one more lap to go. Don't even really care that we're being caught by second and third. Full throttle through turn 1. Over the curbs. Just tossing the car around like it's nothing. This car just handles it all so well. I don't really feel the need to push, even though we go way wide there. But on the other hand, we were able to really open up the wheel on corner exit and get good power off. Through turn 8 for the final time. Straighten out the wheel and get on the power. Just one more hard brake section to go. And Parnelli, he's catching us. He's almost there, but he's going to run out of time. And we are indeed going to take the victory at Riverside. So here's the final results. That's going to be it for this video. Let me know if you liked this, and if you'd like to see more content like this, especially Assetto Corsa content. Either way, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.